In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom's talking competitive shooting, legal victories, and the idea of getting shoot fit. Also, your range reports and more. Call Tom now at 1-866-825-5486. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Holy cow, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I'm so glad that you could be with us. I'm Tom Gresham, and we are going to be talking about, well, what do you think we're going to talk about? It's called Gun Talk. So we're going to talk about guns for a while. We're going to talk about, well, do you have to be an athlete to be a shooter? Well, clearly, judging from some YouTube videos, I would say probably not. But the real question is, does it help? Well, that's a question that we're going to be tackling a little bit later on. Also, we have some successes in the courts. And some other, we're actually going to have a 10-year-old competitive shooter joining us. She has gotten a lot of, not notoriety, that's not right, celebrity. Been on CNN, been on other places, so we'll have Cheyenne Roberts with us a little bit later on in the show. But right now, let me bring in a friend of ours, because he's actually put his class on hold so he can do the show. So he's got everybody standing around there with their pistols in their holsters, I guess, saying, Clark, would you please come back here? Clark Aposhian joins us right now. Clark, what are your students doing while you're doing radio?
Yeah, you know what they are? They're keeping their muzzles in a safe direction, their fingers off the trigger. And I'm actually in the San Francisco Bay Area doing some weapon training classes, and I told them, I says, they're on break for a little bit while I take care of while I talk to my good friend Tom Gresham. So.
Oh my goodness! Now Clark Aposhian is from the Salt Lake City area, but you do travel to do your training. What kind of class is this you're teaching today?
It's a weapon training class. It's kind of an advanced concealed carry course. So
okay,
yeah.
All right, good deal. Well, listen, you had sent me this. Let me pick this up. You had sent me this note, and some folks know about what happened with you, I guess, a year and a half or so ago. Now, marriage, when it goes bad, can go ugly. Fair enough to say?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Sometimes what was love turns into to some bitter contention, so to speak.
Yeah. All right. So let me see if I can put a real.
It was an incident.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll put a real quick cap on that. Basically, we had an incident with Clark and his wife and some accusations made. And by the time it got through the legal process, you were completely exonerated. Absolutely, nothing to it. Charges dropped. No, prosecution's not brought. Came out the other side fine. But then you send me this note saying, yeah, but there's this most interesting little thing that came out of this. What happened?
Well, what happened was, during the and like you said, everything was dismissed. It was completely trumped up, and it took me quite a while to resolve it. But still, as part of that, we carry guns, and so when I had the police interaction, they took my Glock 23, and it was fully loaded. Mm-hmm. Had 14 rounds in there. I had the nice double tapped 165 grain ammo in there, and I had a little cold steel pocket knife. Anyway, so about, it took a year and a half later until everything was finally resolved, and I called the police department up and I said, hey, I'm coming to get my gun and my knife and stuff. So, get it all prepped for me. And I said, and I'd heard an inkling that they keep the ammo. And I said, and have the ammo ready to go too. Well, we don't give the ammo back, they said, Clark. I said, what do you mean you don't give the ammo back? They said, yeah, it's our policy not to give the ammo back. And I realized quickly I'm talking to a clerk, and so I'm not going to get into it with her. So I went down to the police station, got my gun, got my knife, and I said, and my ammo. And they said, no. And I said, well, you better show me something that allows you to keep my property. And they produced I had to do what they call it, Freedom of Information Act request. And they showed me their policy that shows that they, two things. It was very curious. Ammunition will not be returned without a court order, and in the same line, all ammunition will be destroyed. So it's kind of a competing little things there.
Yeah, it's like you got two different things going on. And I guess, hey, Clark, we ought to point out to people that these are the same cops that you know and work with in your training, right?
This is exactly right. I've trained these folks, and and I know the chief. We've been at odds in some legislation before, but I know these folks very well. So anyway,
okay.
So I left there. Kind of sulking. He didn't get my ammo, and I said, "Well, this isn't the end of this." And I wanted to find out just how prevalent this was. So I started talking, and I found something interesting. In my investigation, I found that police departments across the state of Utah were doing this and across the country. But by and large, sheriff's departments and, like your state troopers weren't doing it. And I just couldn't figure out what the difference was here. Now, yes, some sheriffs were doing it. So I spoke with folks with the largest sheriff's department, the Unified Police Department technically, but it's under a sheriff. The guy that writes the policy there, he says, absolutely not. We give all property back. If the ammunition is property, it's given back. Spoke with our attorney general. He said, boy, it sounds like an illegal taking without due process. I'd spoken with the colonel with the highway patrol out here. In fact, I had just spoken with somebody with the San Francisco Police Department, and they said, yes, they give it back, but they wait 24 hours between the time they give you the gun back and the ammo back. I said, okay, I may not agree with it, but I understand the logic. So we started questioning the police chief, and the police chief gave 3 reasons why they don't return the ammo. 1, he said everybody is doing it. Everybody in the state is already doing it. 2, we've done it for so long. And 3, they don't want to keep explosives in their evidence room.
Oh, no.
So what do you think about explosives? So I checked up.
We know that ammunition is not explosives. I mean, the ATF clearly says that loaded ammunition is not an explosive. It's never been classified as an explosive. I don't even know what to do with that. You're
exactly right. It is specifically exempt from the federal explosive laws and regulations, as a matter of fact. So, and I thought to myself, and the more I did this, the more they were pushing it. They weren't giving it back. And I thought, well, if they'd come up with this thing, they don't want to give you the gun and the ammo back at the same time, all right. I may disagree with it, but I could at least understand where they were coming from. But these are folks, but it seems that across Utah, across the nation, there are different law enforcement agencies, quite a few of them, that the mentality of, we've been doing it for so long and everybody is doing it, it's at the very least, it's very disheartening. And at the most, it's downright criminal, given that these police departments are supposed to be staffed and led by people who we expect to be examples of obeying the law, examples of constitutionality. Whereas they've forgotten the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment in the Constitution, where it says, we've got to have due process. You shall not deprive someone of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
All right, so Clark, you have always.
How many of your listeners have had the same situation?
We should point out here. Let me jump in here, Clark. We should point out that Clark is a gun rights lobbyist, an activist, firearms instructor, shooter clearly. So, from your background of all of that, what's your takeaway? Should we all at least start finding out what's going on? What are our local policies?
Well, I think you ought to. I think as you have the occasion to do, inquire of your police departments, of your law enforcement agencies, are they retaining ammo? And for what purpose are they retaining it? I seriously doubt they're going to come up with any kind of an appropriate reason. And then you might want to speak with, if you start small, talk with the city attorney, get them to change that policy, if it's even in policy. And it looks like we may end up having to go all the way to the Attorney General's office on this one because it's so far-reaching.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the heads up on this. This was not something I've actually ever heard of. Of course, now you got to understand that police departments have limited budgets and they need to buy ammo, so this might be helping out on that way too.
Well, exactly. I think they used my 14 rounds of nice double self-defense ammo for that because they did say they destroyed it. I think it's probably destroyed one round at a time, though, but anyway.
Well, in case anybody wonders, yes, we understand it's only 14 rounds, but it is a policy, and it may not be an official policy. It may just be, as you say, well, we've always done it this way, so we're just going to keep doing it this way. And what if they say, well, yeah, but we went in and we took your 10,000 rounds of 22 ammo that you had in here for evidence, but you're going to get everything back because there actually was no crime. But, oh, yeah, it's our policy not to give you back your ammo. So it's very interesting, Clark. I appreciate you giving us the heads up on this. That's not something I'd ever heard of before.
Yeah, interesting. I'll see you at SHOT.
All right, I'll see you in a week at SHOT Show in Las Vegas. Get back to that class. Get those people putting some rounds downrange. Clark Aposhian giving us a heads up. All right, 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. What's on your mind? You got a range report for us? We love those. Rifle, ammo, shotgun, handgun, whatever. Anything you've taken out there and tried out, let us know what's working for you, what you like, what you bought, what you're thinking about buying, or something you want to just get rid of. Hey, we may have a way to help you out with that. 866-TALK-GUN.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition, and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
Alrighty, back with you. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or you just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. By the way, we had a winner of the Springfield Armory XD Mod 2 in 40 S&W, Ed J. from Michigan. Congratulations, Ed. If you haven't already, you'll be getting some information about that. Let's see, other news going on. Gun Talk Television and Guns and Gear, our two TV shows, are currently running on Sportsman Channel. They air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Monday is Shoot 'em Up Night. They don't actually call it that, but it's a lot of gun shows on Sportsman Channel on Monday nights. Let's see. Check local cable info on Dish. It's channel 395. On Direct, it's channel 605. A lot of ways to pull that down. Speaking of our videos, we have the first season of First Person Defender available now. First Person Defender, of course, is where we take regular people and throw them into self-defense situations, gear them up, shooting munitions, guns, and see what happens. I mean, we do abductions and kidnappings and workplace shoot-ups and road rage and just anything we can think of. We're just about to put season 2 up, and I'll have that announcement shortly. As a result of season 2 of shooting it and watching what happened, I've made a change. I've actually made a change in my daily carry gun as a result of this. I'm carrying more ammo now. I'm carrying a gun that carries more ammo. I've gone pretty much away from single stack to double stack. Here's what I found in watching people when they get into the situation, experienced people, trained people. When it really gets hairy, and they start shooting a bad guy, they shoot them a lot. That's a good thing. Anybody worth shooting is worth shooting until they stop being a threat, right? And sometimes that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bang, 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 bang. That fast. Well, all of a sudden, we're out of ammo. And then what we do, because we're sneaky, like bad guys, then a second bad guy shows up. I got an empty gun. Not good. Well, I watched this over and over again. I said, that kind of bites the big one. So I don't want to run out of ammo. I don't want to be out of ammo, because in a gunfight, it's a bad place to be out of ammo. So I've gone back to a double stack. I, for a while, was carrying single stack. They're comfortable. They're nice. Like them. But I kind of look at it. I mean, I can argue it both ways. But anyway, that's kind of where I am. Also, honestly, I guess this is my question to you. As you have looked at the news reports of multiple attackers, particularly with the terrorist attacks, have you, yeah, right. Jim says, yeah, you carry a double stack because they don't make a triple stack. Yeah, we were talking about maybe a drum mag. That'd be the way to go. Have you altered what you carry or the way you carry as a result of watching the news, either recently or in the last couple of years? If you have a thought on that 866 talk gun. Let's see. We had a call from Tom. He's in Casper, Wyoming. He didn't want to be on, but he said carrying a gun in a commercial vehicle, states have separate laws. Yes. Each state is different. And that's true for everybody, not just commercial vehicles. As you travel state to state to state, the laws change. It drives us crazy because you have to know the law in every state. Your concealed carry permit's good. In this one, it's not good in that one. You can have a loaded gun in the car. In this one, you can't in that state. It's just on you. Until we get some kind of uniform law nationwide, it's on you to know the law. One of the better places to go online for that is Handgun Law, singular, handgunlaw.us, handgunlaw.us. Lots of good information there. Lawrence has been on hold for a while. I appreciate that. On line 3, he's in Nebraska. Hey, Lawrence, thank you for your patience.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
I am well. What's up?
Well, first of all, I got to compliment you for having your radio show and reaching out to all the clients in the in the world, I guess. Anyway, my problem is I used a product called Rust Guard. It was an aerosol, and it was mostly wax, and you could use it to store guns. And Clean Bore was making it in 2006, and now Savariland must have purchased it, and they stopped making it, and they make a product called CLP, I believe it is, but it's a petroleum product, not a wax. This stuff, you can spray it on the metal and on the wood, and it preserves the gun perfectly, and I've used it since it came out, I suppose, in the 60s or 70s. Now you can't get it. So, can you talk somebody into making it?
I don't know about that. I got something you can use in the meantime, especially on the metal at least. The wood, honestly, I would probably just use a good furniture polish wax on that. But Brownells has a product called Rust Veto, V-E-T-O. And it's essentially it's a modern version of Cosmoline without all the issues of Cosmoline. But it's for long-term storage, and it melts at about 140 to 150 degrees, so you can put it like drop a can of this into a can of water, double boiler, whatever, warm it up. You can dip a gun in it. You could brush this stuff on a gun and put it away for years, and it stays on there. And then, obviously, since it melts at that temperature, you could warm it up, put it on a cookie sheet or something. Don't tell your wife. And stick it in the oven at 200 degrees, and that stuff will all just flow right off of there. But it's called Rust Veto, and it's from Brownells, Brownells, Brownells.com.
All right. Okay, thank you.
All right, well, that's what I got. The only other thought I have is that there's a product called LPS, and they make LPS 1, 2, and 3. And one is light lube. It's kind of like I hate to even say it's like a WD-40, but it's a light oil. 2 is thicker and 3 is waxy. If you can find LPS number 3, may or may not be good for this. I've not used it on that. I've used it on boat trailers and things like that. But for guns, I would go with the Brownell's Rust Vito. Stuff is amazing. I have used it before. If you're putting a gun up for long term, you definitely got to have something going like that. So there you go. Let's see. Let's talk to Louis on line 4 out of Arkansas. Hey, Louis.
How you doing today?
I'm good. What you looking for here?
Well, I'm not looking for anything. I have discovered something that took me a while to discover and finally have figured it out. Let's talk about optics for a second, tactical optics. I don't have the budget to go out and buy an EOTech holographic sight with a magnifier behind it in order to get clear vision through the magnifier. So trying to figure out a more affordable way to do that. The problem is when you take not holographic, but my mind escapes me, the other type of weapon sight. It's not a holographic. It's a...
Hey, Louis, let me get you to jump to the end of this because we're going to run out of time if we don't. What'd you find out?
Okay. The cheaper optics have a anti-reflective coating, so when you put a magnifier on it, you get double vision. You get 2 dots. So the company called Vortex has come out with a product called Striker Fire 2, and it's $200. There's no anti-reflective coating, and when you put a magnifier on that, you get crystal clear vision.
Striker Fire 2 from Vortex. I tell you what, I'm going to be at the SHOT Show next week, well, a week from now. I'm going to run by the Vortex booth and take a look at that. That's cool. Get a heads up on that one. I love those kind of range reports because that's one that, frankly, I have not seen, have not run into. But now it gives me a reason to go by the Vortex booth and look at something else that's cool. We always like that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, how to get in shape for shooting. Yeah, it can make you a better shooter. Seriously.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately?
You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back.
Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Hey, welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. You can shoot me an email if you're shy, bashful, don't want to be on the air. Tom@guntalk.com. Over on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. Now, there's a saying, but this person actually disproves that because in this case, nice folks actually do finish first. Over and over and over again. She's a champion shooter, a veteran, an Army veteran, author, hunter, wife, mom. Julie Golob is actually one of our friends. And Julie, we don't get together, don't get to talk very often, but it is a pleasure to have you here. How are you, my dear?
Oh, I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I love following you on Facebook and getting all your, we get a lot of reports on shooting, but we also get reports on being a mom and what was the last, how you feed them and how it sometimes comes back up. And we get everything from you, man.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I didn't know something. I was just looking at your website. By the way, it's Julie Golob, GULIEGOLOB and .com. And I didn't know you had an e-book about shooting while pregnant. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just some, it's nothing too elaborate, but it kind of serves as a information resource for expecting moms and what they should consider if they're thinking about shooting while pregnant.
Okay, so for people to understand, you are a hunter, you're a competitive shooter, captain of Team Smith & Wesson, I gather?
Yes, all those.
Yes, all of those and more. And now you want to, in addition to your books and videos and everything else you're doing, you want to help people get in shape for shooting. What's that all about?
Sure. I have 2 little girls at home, and every time, you have a kid, you gain a little bit of weight, you slow down, and as you get older, it's harder and harder to stay in shape. And so, along with all of the New Year's resolutions that we see on television, those advertisements for all those gyms out there, I got to thinking about, wow, wouldn't it be cool to kind of tap into social media and all of the shooters out there with a hashtag called ShootFit and kind of support each other and share our journey into getting more fit for the shooting sports or concealed carry or however we want to be as shooters.
So, okay, hashtag ShootFit. What does that encompass? Is this like a regular exercise program you're doing? What is this?
Oh, no. Basically, I'm not a fitness expert by any means, but what I hope to accomplish with it is to tap into people like Rob Latham, who has, obviously he's a good friend of yours, and he's a gazillion championship titles. He has overcome a lot of injuries. So I have a blog post interview with him coming up soon. I plan to talk to Doug Koenig about hunting fitness, Bob Vogel about grip strength, kind of tap into the network of champion shooters out there and my fellow teammates from the various different teams to kind of share that information with the everyday shooters so that they can use those skills to apply them to their own fitness and not only get in shape, but also be better shooters as well.
Well, toward the idea of being a better shooter, and let's focus right now on competitive shooting and also hunting. One of the things we find with our concealed carry series we do called First Person Defender, we find that a lot of people can shoot when they just walk up to the line and shoot. But you start applying pressure to them and then physical exertion, and sometimes it just all falls apart, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. You see it a lot in just like the action shooting sports. In your mind, you're like, okay, I'm going to get ready and I'm going to go through my walkthrough at slow speed. But when the buzzer actually sounds and you're actually running and gunning through a course of fire and you're huffing and puffing at the end, all those long shots suddenly got more difficult.
Exactly. And being in shape basically means that when you're exerting, your heartbeat's going to slow down a bit. Your breathing will be just a little bit slower. And if you could do all those things, you can focus a little bit better, I would think.
Definitely. And, just overall fitness for being on the range all day long, whether it's for a competition or for a class, having the endurance to be able to be on your feet and get through the day is another big benefit, too. So it has a lot of crossover value, regardless of whether you're an active competitor or if you're just somebody who's looking to improve.
Okay, so how does somebody get involved and say, hey, I want to be a part of this whole shoot fit idea?
Oh, all they have to do is use the hashtag. Isn't the internet wonderful?
It is. Okay, so hashtag shoot fit, one word. Now, that would be a hashtag would be on Twitter, I take it.
It can be on Twitter. Of course, Facebook uses hashtag. I've had a lot of people connect with me through Instagram and Google+. You can post videos, anything. That's the beauty of the hashtag on the internet is that it can connect everybody with this same kind of momentum as they're, wanting to share their stories and share their journey and give advice to one another on things that work for them.
Okay, and that includes, obviously, what to eat, how to cook it, because I'm looking at your website, how to butcher venison backstrap into steak. So you not only kill it, but you grill it.
That's right. I do.
So how are those youngins of yours?
They're very good, growing fast. Well, you have your kids that have just grown and grandkids, and it's crazy.
Yep. It is. Well, we're going to be seeing you in about a week at SHOT Show.
Yes, I'm excited. It's going to be a very exciting show this year, I think.
I think we're going to be seeing some cool new things. A lot of the manufacturers took a little bit of time off, just catching their breath from the craziness of 2013 and a little bit of 2014, and now they're saying, okay, time for new stuff.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be the trend for SHOT Show this year. With last year, it seemed like everybody was just trying to keep up with the incredible demand, and a lot of those R&D projects were put on hold just to maintain the manufacturing to the level that it needed to be. So I think it'll be the year of the new.
Exactly right. So, Julie, people want to keep up with you. I mean, and just to reiterate so people understand, you're Army veteran, competitive shooter, active hunter, mom, you're blogging, you're doing TV, you're doing writing books, you're doing all this stuff, as well as being captain of the team Smith & Wesson. How do they keep up with you?
The best place is through my website at juliegolob.com. You thankfully plugged that earlier. And that's where I share a lot of the stuff that I'm doing and have links to all my social media accounts and videos and all that good stuff as well.
Sounds good. Well, we will see you in about a week in Las Vegas.
All right. Safe travels.
All right. You too. All right. You take care, Julie. Julie Golob. It's JuliegOlob.com. The hashtag is ShootFit. All right. We're open lines now. What have you been shooting? What are you doing? You got a story for me? Absolutely. We'll share that. Got a question? Even if I don't know it, never stops me from answering clearly. So we can make it up on the spot. 866 Talk Gun.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Making news 30 years ago, the modern internet made strides when 5 supercomputers were linked to form a network. It was the same year ARMSCORE entered the U.S. market. What a coincidence. Why not use the internet to celebrate? Get big online discounts and rebates on the world's #1 selling 1911s from Rock Island Armory and quality ammunition from ARMSCORE. Get yours at armscore.com/gun talk. ARMSCORE, USA strong for 30 years.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Back with you, Tom Gresham. Shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. What stories are you seeing locally? I had a story out of, where was this? Shawnee, Kansas. Robbers go in, gun store, if I read you this correctly. And basically what happened was they hit this woman. Her husband took offense to that. By the time it was over, he's shot. He's dead. 3 of them are also shot. Ugly stuff, man. Ugly stuff. One of the things I do, I set up on Google. It's basically like a clipping service you could do. It's called Google Alerts, and they just go through all the news, and you can put in there. And I have Google Alerts for terms like home invasion, self-defense, assault, weapon, whatever the news stories are I want to know about. And with the home invasion one, it's interesting. Just more and more and more all the time, everywhere, all over the country, home invasions everywhere. And often multiple attackers, multiple invaders. And I don't know, you know what? If you choose not to be aware of things like that, then you kind of go, well, everything's fine, everything's good. When you start paying attention to them, you go, wow, I want to take some action to be prepared, be careful. So I do. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Right now on line 2, Dennis is in Casper, Wyoming. Hey, Dennis, you got a story for us?
Well, I kind of do. About 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, you had a caller that wanted some advice on training his wife at the range. And my story is about 25 years ago, my wife and I used to bowl on a mixed bowling league together. And when we quit that league and she went on a women's league and I went on a men's league, both our bowling averages went up probably about 20 pins. So there's some truth to be said about not trying to offer your wife advice because she's not going to listen to you.
So you split up on the bowling and both of you benefited from that, huh?
Well, it got better. Let's put it that way. Although the last few years it's gone downhill for me, but oh well, such is life.
Oh well, exactly. No, that's a great report. I think it may not be a range report, but it kind of is. So thank you for that call, Dennis. Yeah, husbands teaching wives to shoot, often not a great combination. What do they call that? Competing or conflicting relationships. You have too many relationships going on there. You have husband, friend, teacher, critic, and you can't stop yourself from saying, well, if you would just hold it this way, and she didn't want you to do that. She wants you to leave her alone. So what you need to do is get her with an instructor who's not married to her, or vice versa, or get him to an instructor. The whole couples thing, yeah, exactly. Good point. And somebody else can say the exact same things, and it sounds different, and they listen to it. Been there, done that. Tried, let's see, tennis. Tried golf. Not so well. Shooting didn't go badly, but it sure went a lot better when my wife got with Clint Smith from Thunder Ranch, and all of a sudden it's going, oh. So she liked that. So then she went to a school with Kay Michalik. And go, K. Clark Mitchell. Yeah, okay, that works better. They're saying the same things. Now, I will say this. They say it better. They're better instructors. But that's okay. That's not what I do, but it sure does work better sometimes. Getting your friend, your spouse especially, to somebody else. Gary is on line 3. He's in East Grants Pass, Minnesota. Hey, Gary.
Good afternoon. I was calling in response to the guy I called in a little bit ago about the PACMER TRP, the representative.
Right.
And there are some alternatives. I've found a product called Slicker, and it's made by the Paul Company. Comes in a big aerosol can. The only trouble is it's not a wax. It's a light grease in suspension. You just spray it on.
Right.
It's not supposed to harm wood or anything else, and it's good for storage. But the nice thing about the PRP by PACMER was you could spray it on, and then you could take it out and use it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you also were going to mention the Bow Shield T9. We're just out of time. We've got a hard break coming up. We got to get to that. There are a number of good products. The technology on lubes is so much better now. Frankly, the gun stuff that we used 20, 30 years ago, not nearly as good as what it is today. Take advantage of the new stuff. It's going to protect your guns better. It's going to clean them better. 866-TALK-GUN.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
how much fun is this? I love talking about guns. Miles does too. He's called us off at line 1 in Reno, Nevada. Hey, Miles, tell me about what you took to the range.
Yes, a couple of days ago, I finally got a chance to ring out a GP 100 match champion that I'd picked up a little while ago. The double-action pole is superb. The single-action pole is probably the best I've ever had on the best of any gun I have. I'm not really much of a revolver enthusiast, but this gun is really, really nice. And guy I went out shooting with, he's ex-Air Force, did all kinds of, shall we say, weird stuff in the service. And he said that I should never sell it.
That's probably good advice. When you find one that you really like, just hold on to that. Now, were you shooting it with 38s or 357?
Both. With 38 wad cutters, it was absurdly accurate. With the 357s, I could control them fairly well, and they were pretty accurate as well. But some of the 357 loads I got were a little underpowered, gun show special sort of things.
Ah, yes. The 357 almost Magnum.
Very much so. I was also wondering while I was here if I could put out a request for information for anyone doing gunsmithing on Tikka rifles in the Carson and the northern Nevada area. One of the other things I tried to do that day was I tried to sight in a Tikka 7mm Remington Magnum, but the recoil was so heavy that it completely shook the scope mounts apart.
Sounds to me like, what kind of mounts do you have on? What kind of rings and bases?
Yeah, just what comes with the gun from the factory.
You might want to do a little, and I don't know what comes with it, but you might want to do a little upgrade and go ahead and put on just a different set of bases and rings on there if those are coming apart. And honestly, as good as loopholes are, and loopholes are very good, just a basic Weaver base and Weaver rings, they're not as attractive as some of the others, but they sure are sturdy and cheap and they work. I would probably go back and start from scratch and take everything off and put a different set of bases and rings on there and go that way. I don't know that it's a gunsmithing thing. I think I would probably just start with new bases and rings. Would that make sense?
Well, I was thinking of putting a muzzle brake on it.
I'm not a real fan. I'll tell you why. Muzzle brakes are great at the range, but you sure don't want to hunt with a muzzle brake on. They're just too bloody loud. I just don't like them at all for hunting. And, I just, if you're going to be shooting at the range a lot, yeah, great. It's going to reduce a 7 mag to about a 270 level. And it really does work. Good muzzle brakes really work. And you can get that, and then if you want to, when you go hunting, you can unscrew the muzzle brake and screw on a thread protector, which is really just a nut. And then, but the thing is, if you do that, and it's for everybody, if you have a muzzle brake on your rifle and you take it off and you put on the screw protector on there, the thread protector, you need to re-sight in your gun because there's a really, really good chance you're going to have a shift in the point of impact. It might be an inch. I've seen it as much as 6 inches at 100 yards, shift in point of impact from muzzle brake to no muzzle brake on the same rifle. So you absolutely have to re-sight it in before you go hunting when you take the brake off. But yeah, for developing loads, if you're doing a lot of practicing, muzzle brakes are really good. When I shoot a muzzle brake, I like to double up. I like to have plugs and muffs because they're just loud. The nature of the beast is that they're loud. If you want to go with something that's kind of a muzzle brake, it's not as loud. How about a suppressor? Oh yeah, how about a suppressor? Because that will actually sometimes reduce recoil just a little bit, but a lot of the recoil we feel is actually the noise. Besides, you really ramp up the cool factor when you go with suppressors. High coefficient.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.